Good morning and welcome to, on Saturday, 25th of May, the EPL Index Transfer Roundup. And by the way, people, it's still crazy on the managerial scene. So we'll be talking about that. We'll be talking about a few clubs. We'll be talking about a few Premier League stars who may even be running their contracts down as well. So let's run through the headlines for you this morning. Now, we'll keep on multiple outlets again, but I'll try and call out a few more pieces this time. So we start with the Times. They've got the Ipswich boss, Kieran McKenna. So, I mean, this is unbelievable. League One, Championship, and now he might not even go to the Premier League with Ipswich because he's been linked naturally with Brighton and Chelsea. And the Times have got that he's going to wait specifically to see what happens with United, because that's the one from his connections, obviously. He used to coach there, didn't he? That would trump all. So Kieran McKenna to United there. But Sky Sports have also said, naturally, and we mentioned this yesterday, that the Ipswich owner, Ed Schwartz, has flown to the UK and he's going to try and do a mega deal to keep McKenna at the club, which would make sense, wouldn't it? He's gone Championship, or League One, sorry, Championship. Yeah, can they keep hold of him? A few outlets had this, so I could name many, but a lot. And it's right to give it to Jacob Steinberg from The Guardian, because he's the one that really broke it, that whatever happens, today's FA Cup final, if United win it, Manchester United will sack Erik ten Hag. Whatever happens, that's the big story that a few ran. And then there's obviously loads of flows from that. The London Standard have got a few naturally saying that Pochettino, who's left Chelsea, wants to stay in the Premier League, so he's very much interested in the United job. The Standard have also got that Chelsea will definitely interview Enzo Maresca, the Leicester City head coach, who's got them promoted for that role as well. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. TalkSport have also got it, and I'm saying that there's a few others. As we mentioned yesterday, that his release clause is around the sort of £7 to £8 million mark, somewhere in that bracket. But it's absolutely insane, isn't it? Really, that you see a load of Erik ten Hag quotes and, you know, all these big clubs. And I mean, it's even mentioned that Sky Sports Germany are saying that Vincent Kompany, as you mentioned yesterday, is pretty much on the verge of being done to Bayern Munich, the current, probably soon to be, Burnley head coach. I mean, Ipswich, Burnley, to possibly Bayern Munich, Manchester United, or even Leicester to Chelsea is probably some leap, isn't it? So the managerial hijinks are vast, and they're not the only names in the mix. It's important to say as well. The Telegraph have got this as the main one, but a few others saying that Chelsea have not ruled out Roberto De Zerbi. Obviously, we know he's just left Brighton, hasn't he? So, yeah, that is one at the same time as well. I mean, it is literally crazy at the moment from a manager point of view. Wingers, they're probably worth talking about at the moment. And there's a few, well, say English or currently playing in the Premier League or not. So Michael Elise, obviously French, and we know Gareth Southgate is after him, as he's confirmed. But the big story from the Mirror is that Chelsea will make a £60 million bid for the Crystal Palace winger 22. Now, a few stories have got this, or a few different outlets, I should say, that Elise seems to be between, according to a lot of the outlets, United and Chelsea. Why that is, there's a lot of talk around wages or suspicions, but those are the two clubs leading the race. Speaking of wingers, Jadon Sancho. Now, Sky Sports Germany, and this is no surprise really, that they have very much that Dortmund would like to keep him. However, they'd also like to keep him and Ian Maatsen. However, even if they win the Champions League, that fee is just likely to be too high for both. United asking for around £50 million. And obviously, we've all heard and known about the wages that Jadon Sancho is on. Ginormous, aren't they, in that regard? So we just can't see it happening. Did mention a couple of stars, didn't I? You couldn't define Kevin De Bruyne or Mo Salah as anything but Premier League stars. They are Premier League elite. Everyone is aware of them. They are huge names in the game. Now, a few had this, but it's important to point out probably the Telegraph as the main one has said that the Saudi League is prepared to wait for De Bruyne and Salah, who both have a year left to go on their contracts, to run it down. Salah currently 31, De Bruyne currently 32. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with them this summer. It's important to say a few days ago, De Bruyne's camp were even talking with San Diego, weren't they? An MLS move was mooted. So will he see out that last year at City? Will he wait then and go to Saudi, or will he take the plunge to the MLS? There's a lot of questions around Kevin De Bruyne, as there is around Mo Salah, where last summer we know about the offer that Liverpool turned down. Will they now wait again that way? And staying in Saudi, it's important to say that, and there's a few outlets again have got these names. We told you about Rafa Leao, but Emerson Royale, the Tottenham right back, that Saudi clubs are looking at him, as a few have got AC Milan. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with him. And speaking of AC Milan, just because it's a huge name in the market, it's important to say, apparently they and Juventus, because Mats Hummels is now actually on a free and there's nothing been confirmed yet with Dortmund, are very much looking at Matt Hummels. Now, naturally, he is not going to the Euro, so you could see his future resolved quicker than normal. That's a big name. And sticking on the big names on the continent, you've got the Luka Modric. Now, we know Toni Kroos has officially retired, or will retire, is he now, sorry, after the Euros. But Luka Modric is apparently set to be, according to a few Spanish outlets, offered a 1-year extension. Other things just to really bring you in the mix, some interesting comments from other sources. A lot of, this is important to say, a lot of outlets have pretty much got that the Barkley free transfer to Aston Villa is done. There's a lot of people commenting on that now, so we expect that to happen any minute. Emmanuel Petit, former Chelsea player, has been quite savaging of their setup, said that Reece James, the right back, their current captain, shouldn't be captain. It should be Conor Gallagher, on the basis that you just cannot rely on them at all. And then just a few other sort of ones to mention. This is one that a few have got, and it would be maybe the most ambitious or crazy move in one way, you'd think, over the summer window. Ipswich, newly promoted Ipswich, are looking at Miguel Almiron. So Team Talk and a few others have got that. And now he was linked, or was set to go, wasn't he? Turned down a move, I should say, to the Middle East last summer. But yeah, there you go. That'd be a huge move, wouldn't it? Miguel Almiron. Lenny Yoro news continues as well. Quite a few outlets have got the United, Liverpool are very much interested in that kid, the French international, French youth international, support to say. So a centre back, 18 years old. However, the talk around PSG, the talk around Real Madrid. He is a Jorge Mendes client with a year left to go on his contract. So you expect him to make the move this summer. And that, ladies and gents, is your EPL Index Transfer Daily Roundup. Looks like Ten Hag is a dead man walking. It looks like Kieran McKenna's got his pick. And it looks like the showpiece, you could argue, the FA Cup. And then there's the Championship playoff to be completed this weekend. So the English football season will reach a definitive conclusion. And that was the EPL Index Transfer Daily Roundup on Saturday, the 25th of May.